I unexpectedly found myself alone and not really sure why I was alone. I felt so much pain inside. I didn't know how to get up the next day. One thing I didn't want to feel anymore was that pain. How can you find gratitude when your whole world just turned upside down?
Welcome into the Unplugged Palace / Unplugged Us. It is our third episode together.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
All your love and support along this journey. So, Michael, what do you want to talk about today?
I was going to say, let's get right into it tonight.
Oh my, we're getting right into it, jumping into something.
I think that there is something that I would love our listeners to know.
Okay.
And it's something that I learned when I first met you. And we had talked about how quick you had been able to get over your marriage.
Right, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it abruptly came to an end.
Correct.
You had a method that I had really never, ever tried. I had never heard of. And some might even think that it's kind of hokey.
Or basic.
Basic.
Yeah.
But it has proved to be very effective, and I've watched it over the past couple years with you. Would you like to start off by letting people know kind of a little bit about what you did?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I believe that our life stories are powerful. And, we go through these, bouts of life, and sometimes it's not very kind to us, but it's how we come out of it and the stories we're able to share, because we've talked about this before. We don't know who it's going to touch and when it's going to touch that person. I've always said, if I can help one person, if my story can resonate with one person and give that one person hope for the future, then it was all worth it. So, like Mike said, I unexpectedly found myself alone and not really sure why I was alone.
Right.
So I had a lot of unanswered questions that I couldn't make sense of, and I kept it to myself for some time.
That's often most people who are on that side of the breakup do. The questions are unanswered.
Right. I had something that kind of abruptly happened, and I didn't know how to maneuver. I didn't know how to get up the next day. I didn't know how to rise above. Yet, I had studied for a few years and got my certification for life coaching. So it was almost like I knew the tools that I had within myself, but I couldn't bring myself to apply those tools to my life. I knew, because of the life coaching, I knew that how I felt in that moment, how I felt that present day,
right, 6
months from now,
right,
I wasn't going to feel that way, but I had to live it. I had to feel it, because in feeling it, we're able to get past it.
Exactly. And that's what we talked about too, as a key. And you said something like you didn't want to feel that pain anymore.
No.
And a lot of people take that to the negative route.
Correct.
But you did something different.
I did. I found gratitude. And I know that some people out there may be listening and thinking, how can you find gratitude when your whole world just turned upside down? I've never felt so alone in my life.
Right.
And I turned to gratitude. And what I would do is every day I had to find 3 things that I was grateful for.
Yeah.
And, I kept these notebooks. To look back on them shows the pain that I went through, but it also shows the progression of that pain.
So you started your day off with a positive.
Yes.
You could go to bed at night, which you probably felt at that point the loneliest. Most people would at night feel the loneliest.
Absolutely.
You woke up the next day still by yourself.
And I woke up in the middle of the night
multiple times. But you chose every morning to start your day with a positive outlook.
Yeah. I have a mantra, and it's one that I feel very, deeply about, and it is: a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. I truly believe it.
True.
I've written it down on multiple, pieces of paper. I have it at my desk at work because I still believe it. When I can find the gratitude in my day, eventually that gratitude is going to find its way back to me. Because if I'm trying and I'm putting in the work, to be grateful, to be positive, even though I didn't know the why.
Right.
I had to remove that thought.
Yeah.
And I had to go back to, I just need to do this simple thing every day. And it's to find 3 things that I am grateful for.
And what were examples of these 3 things?
So unfortunately, I could not find my first journaling book.
Okay.
But I really wish I would have, because I'm pretty sure it was hard. It was very hard to find when I would wake up in the morning reasons to be grateful for.
Right.
But, I did. The 3 things this particular day I was grateful for was willpower, shifting thoughts, ease. The next day, future, possibilities, love. I was grateful for my family, my parents, my sister, my daughter.
You have your dog picks. Pippa, who was your best friend at that point, your support.
There's my girl.
There she is. You want to put her a little closer for everyone.
There's my girl, Pip.
So you're showing gratitude for very simple things.
Right. There are ones in there that just say the sun is shining. I found gratitude because I was sitting there and I could see the sun was shining, and I was grateful for the sun that day. And I've said this before, it wasn't just that morning that I had to show gratitude. I had to dig deep. I had to dig deep because even though I was surrounded, by people who supported and loved me, at the end of the day, I still felt so alone, and I felt so sad inside.
Yeah, and I think it's very realistic to think that some people are going to be low for a little bit. This is when you reach that point. Like, I'm ready to turn it around.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't
what steps can I take?
Right. It wasn't like the next day, after, the trauma that I was like, I sat in that. I sat in the hurt and the loneliness and the feeling and the uncertainty. Yeah. I had a devastated heart. Yes. And I did, when I sat in it and I felt it. And it's okay that I felt it because I learned from it.
Right.
And I learned that I didn't want to feel that way anymore, and that I needed to take the steps in order to...
You got the tools.
Right. Yeah.
You laid out a blueprint for yourself. You equipped yourself with the tools. You put it all together, and it worked for you.
It did. I wasn't going to let it not work for me.
Yeah. You got focused on the end result, and the end result was, I'm not going to feel this pain anymore.
Right.
That's another part, I'm sure, of your life coaching is to see it before it happens.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of seeing it before it happens.
Yeah. So through this process, like I said, gratitude, of course, every day. But there were multiple times during the day that I would have to turn to meditation, or I would have to turn to therapeutic talks, or I would have to turn to other life coaches to help get me over the hump because my mind just wanted to turn. Oftentimes I would end up listening to someone that would talk about setting your intentions. And my intention was to heal in a way that I've never healed before, forgive the past, because I wasn't going to let it control me any longer. Finally, it was to set my intention for the right relationship because I was tired of not finding the correct person to share my life with, and I knew that I didn't want to be alone. The one person that I had listened to on this day, talked about, if you are seeking a companion, if you are seeking love, then you have the control right here and now to manifest the perfect person that you want. And again, I'll use Mike's word. It could sound hokey, but at this point, if you're in this much pain,
right.
Why not try it?
Feel, yeah.
You know?
And that gave you hope.
It did. It gave me hope.
Right.
So I sat down and I devised this letter to my future partner, not knowing who the future partner was going to be. Yeah. Okay. And in that future partnered letter, I even dated it that I wanted to meet this partner by July 1st.
Yeah.
I said.
Right.
Forgot all about the letter. Wrote it, sealed it, put it away, forgot about it.
Yeah.
It was months after, Michael and
we
I got
together. Right.
Yes.
Because you showed it to me.
Yes.
When you found it again.
When I found it, and it was definitely months later, and I was shook because in this letter, I dated it July 1st. I reached out to Michael without even remembering or knowing.
Yeah.
On July 2nd and July 3rd.
Right.
We started talking and had our first date on July 4th. I would say that's pretty darn close.
I was going to say, when do you think you wrote the letter?
I am going to say that it was around February.
Around February. Okay. Yes. So it was well before.
I definitely had forgotten.
And like you said, you forgot. So it's not like you targeted a date.
It's not like I had it
this is the
pinpointed because
this guy.
Absolutely.
You know, that's not
That's true. That's true.
But
But in writing a letter, what do you do with the letter? You put it in an envelope and you put it away, or you mail it, or whatever. Yeah. But I tucked it away, and then I forgot about it.
When I read the letter, because you had sent it to me, I had read it, and I felt I was everything that you had wrote, and I think that's why you said you were shook.
I was shook.
So even though you were living it, there was the evidence for you.
And it was proof that another thing that I always say, which is your thoughts are powerful.
Right.
If you think something over and over and over again, whether it's negative or positive, guess what? You're going to believe it. And it's going to happen.
Right.
So that's why I'm always like, I try to find the good in things.
Yeah.
Even when it's bad, you know, or somebody could potentially say it's bad.
Right.
I don't have to know the reason why now this is happening. No. I just need to trust that things will work out, and I need to believe in myself that I have the power and the tools in my life to basically cultivate the life that I want. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I did find...
Okay, here we go.
Speakers and whatnot.
Isn't she cute with her readers, guys? In the beginning... I've never been with anyone that wore readers.
That's because...
Which, by the way, I need readers now.
He does.
If I was to read something right here, readers would go
Michael
on.
dated much younger, so why would they need readers?
But I looked at her and I thought she was a 10 without them. And then I realized, total, 11? Thanks, you were total 11 with those readers on all day. Read to me.
But I found a few of my notes. I just want to read it to you, even though this is me really being vulnerable right now, because people who know me know that I am quite private. But I'm turning that around because I believe my words can potentially help.
See, this is a big thing, because this right here, and we talked a little bit about this one before we came on.
Yeah.
What you did, your messages are very powerful, and sometimes your messages have to relate to your life situations.
Right.
And that makes it more relatable for everyone that's watching us.
Yeah. My intentions on February 22nd of 22. To be blessed with a love that brings me happiness and joy. A love that is not jealous. A love that is trusting, kind, generous, and loves me completely for who I am. A love that is proud to be with me, that is protective of me. A love that is fun, kind, and caring. A love that brings the warmest smile to my face and heart. A love that completes me and is lasting. I also, in this intention, I said to find peace and forgiveness and to let go of all pain associated from my past. I also wanted strength and courage to move forward in order to find everlasting love and happiness. for good health for myself and those I love, a grateful heart so that I can always find the good in every situation, and security so I may always feel safe. And that's what I wrote on that particular day. And to read it back and to absorb what I wrote and know that I'm in the place where I am, let me be that hope for you. If you are in a dark place, you will rise, but you need to find
the grateful heart.
Yeah.
Say it again. The grateful heart is what?
A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles.
Really is.
Write it down. Put it in places. I had it on my, mirror every day I got ready. I had it on my desk. I would jot it down. I wrote it. I lived and breathed it because that's what I wanted, and it's what I have today.
Do you know what I would say to you?
What's that, Michael?
I would say this to you, that I didn't write anything down before I met you. I didn't do any of those things that you just said. But I can speak to this, that at the moment we met, I had a grateful heart for the life I was living.
Yeah.
I was grateful, and you were the miracle.
Aww. So in my closing of this, story, I would just like to, tell you that, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And I challenge you to start being aware. Start looking around and being thankful for the things that you do have in your life. Because I guarantee there are more things than you realize. And it can be the simplest things. It doesn't have to be the obvious. Take time to heal. Heal whatever past you are battling, because we all have a past. But in order to move forward, in order to be genuinely happy and healed from, from inside out, you've got to heal yourself. And maybe that is, seeking the help of others, and that's okay to do so, because again, it's about not wanting to be in that feeling state anymore and doing whatever it takes to come out of it. And then forgive. You've got to forgive your past. You got to let go. You got to forgive and let go and move forward and know that your future is bright.
Baby, I love your message. I think it was very good. So, and I really hope it helps. At least one or two of our listeners out there.
I do.
So I think it's,
like I said in the beginning, if it helps one person, then my story and going through it was worth it to me. Okay.
So thank you for joining us, everyone. Like I said, this will be the final one we'll have on Facebook. Next week, we're going to go YouTube.
And you don't know what we're going to be talking about. So you don't better know. So subscribe.
We're like advancing your diet. We're giving you the liquid first, but it's going to get real thick.
Oh, wait till that substance kicks in.
Super thick as we go.
I might start asking Michael the question.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say maybe next week.
What's going on with
this is easy for me. I just ask questions and I sit back and I watch the expert talk. I love it. The star.
No, I'm joking.
All right, y'all. We'll see you later.
See ya. Peace and love. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. I promise you.